What's going on, guys? It's your boy Anthony here, living that Dodge life. Hey, check it out. If you haven't seen by the thumbnail or by the title, we got a 2022 Challenger wide body in here, and we're about to install some lights. Right, so we got a banger video. Make sure you guys stay tuned for this one because we're going in depth. Right, I'm gonna have to show you guys step by step how to do this. I know that there's several and tons of videos out there on how to do this, but it's 2024, right? So we got the wide body in here. Right? It's different. It's not the same as the other ones. So I'm about to show you guys how to do that. I know you guys have asked me in the past, yo, Anthony, how do you do these lights, man? Like, how do you do it? Yeah, I know. I've made tons of videos, right? I made tons of videos, but guess what I never did? I never posted them, right? Oh man, yeah, I know. There's a lot of reasons why I never posted them, right? I'm not even gonna go into it. It's just, hey, we're here today, and today I'm gonna show you guys how to do it. Ain't no gatekeeping. Like, I'm about to show you guys in depth on how to do this the right way, right? There's so many different ways, and everybody's gonna have their own style. But I'm gonna show you guys my way and how you're not gonna have any issues. No water issues, no condensation, none of that. I'm about to show you guys exactly how we're gonna do that, all right? So make sure you guys stay tuned for this one. Like, comment, subscribe. Nonetheless, let's get to it. All right, guys. So before we get started on the headlights, I'm just going to show you guys kind of briefly the tools that you're going to need in order to open up the headlights. All right, or just for the headlights in general. Okay. So the first thing that I would always start with, you need a flathead, right? Nothing too fancy, too crazy. You don't need anything too long. I find out the longer ones are, to me, less useful because you can't get as much leverage. So just the medium, regular size, the ones you keep at home. This tool right here, depending on the project, is pretty good for kind of helping pry the headlights open. So this one's used seldomly, just depends on the headlight. For today, we're not going to need that. The other tool I use, this is the game changer, right? This is gonna help you for getting in there and being able to pry the headlight apart. All right, slowly. Yeah. So, and then I'll use two of these sometimes. It just depends on the headlight. With the Challenger headlights, they're extremely easy to open. It's probably like the easiest headlight in the world to open. I can literally open these headlights in almost less than a minute. All right, so, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that. And then whenever you're closing these headlights back up, you're going to need this, this type of pliers. And I don't even know the proper name for it. If you guys know, you can drop it in the comments. And then you're going to need this, this tool. It's helpful. Need it? No, but it is helpful. And then obviously you're going to want some butyl. This is on Amazon. It's what they use for like car windows and stuff like that. It's pretty cheap, like 20-25 bucks on Amazon. And it can last you probably like 4 to 6 headlights, 4 or 5 headlights, I'd probably say. So get you some of that. And then last but not least, and I wouldn't say last because every project's different, this is what you're going to want to run your wires through, these cable glands. All right, there's different sizes. I have a variety pack because, well, I don't know, that's just what I ordered a while ago. So the ones that you're going to want the most are the PG-19, right, and then the 16. And then sometimes it just depends that you can get away with the 13.5s. Anything less than that, you're probably not using. All right, you can if you're cutting wires and you want to make sure that it's as tight as possible. You can do it that way. So I've used the PG9s a couple times when I ran like 1 or 2 wires, but it was just the flow series wire. I mean, it looks like this, right? This one's much smaller in comparison to the 19, right? Much different. So either one, or I would always just recommend the PG-19. And then they have larger sizes. Sorry, they also have larger sizes if you're gonna go bigger. But if you're going bigger, I mean, you probably got a lot of lights in that headlight. So I mean, to you guys, it's whichever you prefer. So nonetheless, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Here we go. We have the headlight here. We're about to just go ahead and get started. So just so you guys can remember what we're doing, we're gonna go ahead and open these headlights. All right, we're doing just the DRLs. All right, we're not doing the flow series. So we're doing RGBWs here and here. We're also gonna do the Demon Eye, and then we're gonna do this intake. All right, which is on the back side. So we'll take this apart, and I will show you guys how to do that. So let's go ahead and go bake these things. First thing is that we're going to go ahead and set the temperature. So I set mine. There's a couple of different ways to set it. I set mine to 270, and I'll leave it in there for about 7 to 8 minutes. And there's the other one that you can do is like 220 for 10 to 12 minutes or something like that. This one, especially for the Mopar headlights, I've always found works best. So let's go ahead and set this in there. And just like that. All right, so we're fresh out the oven. Okay, so first thing we're gonna want to do is go ahead and start. We're basically just gonna start opening. Always make sure you start from the bottom. All right, and then you just want to get in between these grooves. You're just gonna kind of start pushing. Just kind of be careful with these break very, very easily. Now these side pieces are already kind of like, they come kind of fragile in the middle, so they're probably going to break. So you just want to, for these Challenger ones, you just kind of want to basically kind of just break the seal just a little. So that's that one kind of snapping in the middle. It's very normal, easy to fix. And you're just gonna keep going all the way around. And then that's pretty much that. And then you can kind of go where like the strong parts are, kind of by like in this area under on the bottom side. And then it starts opening. And if you want, you can still take this tool, kind of help just pry it open just a little. But like I said, be careful with these clips on the side when you start prying. Boom. Now we're in there. That's that. And that's how you open the Challenger headlights. This is, I can't stress to you guys enough. This headlight right here is by far the easiest headlight on the market to open. Okay. The Charger, especially the new ones, they're not bad, but they're not this easy. It's going to take you a couple times, especially since they're bigger. These are small, compact. These are extremely easy to open. So don't think that you can do this one and then all of a sudden you can do all the other ones. It's going to take practice. I just don't want you guys to, I don't want anybody to get in over their head and think that, oh, this one's easy. Yes, this one is very, very easy to open. And I just want to let you guys know that. So next, what we're going to do is, now that we have it open and it's still warm, this is where people mess up and go wrong. And this is how condensation gets in, and moisture and water. This step they don't do. All this sealant that's in this channel, all of this has to come out. You have to get this out. What people have done, and what I did in the very, very beginning, and I couldn't figure out back in 2017 why there was moisture getting in there. It's because I never cleared the channel. All I did was just lay the butyl in there. It was like, oh yeah, it's good to go. No, this has to come out. So make sure that you guys get all this butyl or whatever, this sealant, this old sealant has to come out. The other thing with the Challengers, right, is not only do you have to get all that sealant out, people always forget this part. This is, that's sealant in there as well. That has to come out. All right. And then not only that, don't forget that. You see that? All this sealant needs to come off as well. All the way around. That all needs to come off. How do you do that? Get your hands ready. This part is the struggle bus. Right? You just get in there. You just start scraping away. Now there are tools out there that are, said to be helpful and help scrape. But the thing with like the Challenger headlights and some of the other ones, they have these little, I don't know how to show you, but like they have these little notches. These little triangle notches all throughout, these little bumps. It makes it hard to start scraping that out, and then they're staggered on top of that. So yeah, I'll show you guys a little bit. Make sure you get around these curves. All that, you want to see the plastic underneath. I'm going to go ahead and move this. If your hands don't hurt after this, well, you either got really strong hands or you're not scraping it hard enough. We'll go with you have pretty strong hands. I'm gonna keep going ahead and scraping this out. If you guys haven't skipped to the next part of the video. Okay, so most of it's out, right? There's gonna be little bit in there. You just want to try and get as much of it out as you can. So just keep like scraping. You should get the back on both sides. Sometimes it might help to get like a smaller type of flathead screwdriver. Only because of the fact that this doesn't like fit all the way back there. But then again, with the other ones, the skinnier ones, you may have to be careful with those too, because you don't want to puncture through the back, especially when it's hot. Obviously, you're not going to do that now, but you never know. Now that we have pretty much all that sealing out, all right, you can see how much more clearer that is. The next thing we're going to do is take this air can and start blowing this stuff out. The next thing we're going to do is we need to get this sealing out. We're not going to do that while this bezel is inside, so we need to remove it. So for the Challengers, this is the 7, yeah, this is 7mm, okay, for all these bolts, and I think there's 5. Next, it's not ready to be removed just yet. We have to change out our piece and remove these, all right? These are 10, yeah. So these are the star shape. And then these are it's a 10. So you can remove that one. And then these 4. Which actually we'll do in just a second. this is technically ready to come out. Once you remove those 5, it's ready to come out. Okay. So now we have it removed. Oh no, we got this in the back. So in order to take that out, you just pinch this side, and then you're just gonna pull. Sometimes it might be in there. I hit y'all again. My bad. My bad. All right. So, boom, that's out. We set the headlight, the housing to the side, and then we can remove the rest of this. Okay. Let's see if I can go ahead and lower you guys. Here we go. So we'll go ahead and flip this thing upside down. So we got 4, 2, 3, 4. We'll remove each one of these. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and flip it back up. And then we can remove those. So since these gloves are kind of dirty for this part, when I'm messing with the housing and the face, I kind of like to take them off. You can also wear like rubber gloves or whatever, something that's a little bit cleaner, because you don't want to touch, when it comes to that chrome, you don't want to touch the chrome. It leaves fingerprints and smudges, and very easy for that to look really bad. I'll take all these pieces out. Boom. And then these will stay in. These can be removed. This one's a little bit more difficult. That can be removed, but we're gonna leave that in. And then we just remove the actual LEDs. And they just kind of pop out right there, right there. And it just pops out. And then it's connected on the back side. And how all you gotta do, just like everything else, you see where it's connected. Just pinch this piece right there. That's gonna click it. And pull out. You can set that to the side, or you can throw it away. I always throw them away because unless the customer asks for them to be back, I throw them away. It's going to cost you just as much for me to reinstall them, and it might be more beneficial for you to just buy a new headlight if you're trying to go back factory, like if you're selling a car or selling the car or something. So I just throw them away. I've only had to put one car back to factory in my 8 years of doing this. So throw them away or do whatever it is that you do with them. So next thing that we're going to do is it's basically reverse mode from here. So we're going to get our new lights. These are the new LEDs. These are the new LEDs. And we just start reinstalling them. And then kind of remembering which one goes to which. Obviously, only one of these is going to go, like this side won't go right there. So it's, you can't mess it up, basically. And then from there, just go ahead and put the bezel back on after you clean it. So with these, sometimes I just wipe them down. I'll dedicate a towel for them. You also use an air compressor. Sometimes I bring out the air compressor for these in the housing. But again, a microfiber towel is almost just as beneficial. Not gonna lie. So when I go to reinstall this, I like to do one at a time. Just go ahead and get these to sit in there properly. The main thing is, like for this, it doesn't sit fully properly because of this piece right here. Right? It's like sitting on this blue waterproof material. So I'll kind of just start putting this in. And then if you're going to use a drill to do this, make sure you have it in the right setting, the easiest setting, so it acts as a torque limiter. Last thing you want to do is over torque these and break stuff. I may or may not say that from experience. Just like that. Take the other one. All right. And then we got to do the other side. Well, we would. Oh. You also just want to make sure that there's no like black marks or whatever. Because if you do and you see it, it's extremely noticeable. And then you're like, I suck. Not really. But you may or may not think that once you discover that. right. So for now, we're gonna leave it just like this, and then we're gonna go back over to the housing. So now that we're back at the housing, put at least one of our gloves back on. Now we're gonna work on that piece. This doesn't really need to be hot or anything to really work on it. It'll start coming out. I'm gonna put the glove back on. And start going around. Next, what we're going to do is go ahead and do our grommets. Okay, so for this one, we're probably just going to do the one grommet. Although we will have 3 wires to run through this headlight. So we'll have the 2 for the halos, and then the 1 demon eye. So we'll go ahead and do that now. All right, so before we do this, something to note. You're going to want, let me grab that piece. Something to note is that we have our grommet. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take my gloves off. Now we need to figure out where we're going to place our grommet. Okay. There's a couple different places within the Challenger to go ahead and do, but the most suitable place for me for just one grommet is going to be in between these 2. Okay. And it's going to be about right here, because there's nothing that's going to block. The bar is going to be behind this, right? So the best suitable spot is going to be right here. You have another spot that's going to be over here. You can also do like back in here, depending on the size. Yeah, never ever want to go and do it on the top, no matter what headlight it is. It's for rain, water, will sit from the, whether it's raining or it's a car wash or whatever. It'll sit right there, and it'll be easy for it to get in. Sides, put on the headlight. Yeah, sometimes there might be an empty space right here that's completely flat. I know some of the Chargers maybe that have the halogens or something could go right there, but the most suitable place to always run wires out of the headlight is always going to be on the bottom. Okay, so like I said, we already have our spot right here, so we're going to go ahead and drill that hole through the headlight. So this is the piece that you're going to want to use. To me, it doesn't really matter the doesn't really matter like kind of what size, whether it doesn't really matter. I use the big one. You also have, like, just so you guys see the size, okay, there's 2 different ones. We're using this one, the big one. All right, you're gonna need that drill. I don't know the name of these things. Sometimes it is what it is. I mean, I'll put the link in the description. Cool. So we're gonna go ahead and drill that part. Make sure that our drill is in the proper setting. And then the length that you're gonna wanna go is basically, what I do is I'll take the grommet off, this washer part, whatever, is I'll take this part off, and then I will kind of put it through here, And I'll be like, oh, okay. That's about as far as it need to go. Usually it's going to be one more. So I'll probably go to the next one. But that's just kind of like a reference point. So we will go ahead and do this now. You can either eyeball it, you can kind of mark it. We're just going to go ahead and do it because so like I was saying, what you would do is then take this piece and fit it in here. See if it will go in. And if you can get away with it being able to go in on that one, that would be ideal, right? But it doesn't look like it wants to go in. So we're going to go ahead and take this piece off. See if we can rotate it in there. And nope, it won't go in. So we'll kind of give it a little bit more. See if that helps. If not, then we'll just go one more. It's not sitting flat, so we're gonna go one more, which is not going to hurt. It's just the other way would have been a little extra buffer, I guess you could say. So now that that went in perfectly fine, take out all the excess. So we're going to put this piece right here. And then we're just going to tie it on there. Like I said, so this part is fine if it goes right here. Or like you said, you can put it over here. The thing with this one right here, it's more out of the way, so less water can get into it. I don't know. It's just personal preference. If you have it, well, when we put the bezel back on, you'll see the bezel, that green board, electrical board, is going to be like kind of sitting on this part a little, which is fine. It's just sitting on it. So you want to just twist it, make sure it's nice and tight. Dump out all the other stuff. Cool. And that's how you do that. So here's your demon eye. And what we're going to do, we're going to remove this black part. We don't need it. We also don't need that screw. You can throw the screw away, and you can throw that away. Okay. So all you're going to need is just the demon eye itself. With this headlight, we have to find a spot where we're going to mount it. You want to be able to make sure that you can mount it with the best possible light output that we can get without messing around with anything on the inside. I don't know if I can show you guys, but on the inside of this you have for your high beams, this part that goes down. It just flicks down, right? So we got to make sure that we don't mess with that and everything. So I've already determined from previous times that I've done Challenger headlights and demon eyes with the Challenger. We're gonna have to mod. We're gonna have to mod this, right? For And there might be other ways to do it, but for me, this is the best possible way to make this happen. And how do we mod this? Sounds crazy, right? But what we're gonna do is take this light and we're gonna trim it. Okay, so I know that this is metal, it's aluminum. So we're gonna trim it. I'm gonna zoom in so that we can see a little bit more. Okay, so on this side right here, you have basically your positive, you have your leads, okay? So with that, it's going to, we can't cut that, okay? So we're only going to trim this top piece, and then we're gonna cut that. And all we're gonna do with that is with our wire cutters right here. It's pretty simple. We're just gonna take it down close to the light. You're gonna leave a little bit of space. And then you're just going to snip it. Just like that. And then you're gonna do the same thing right here. And then I'll do a little. Now, be careful with this one. Like I said, that lead is right there, okay? So we're just gonna do just a little. Just a little. Kind of like you're clipping a fingernail. So it's gonna kind of look like that. Okay. So with that, we're gonna set that aside. I'm gonna zoom back out. Where we're putting that for this is we're gonna take this screw. Oh, maybe I should zoom back in. We're gonna take this screw out, and then this hole that's right here, we're gonna make that hole a little bit bigger, and then we're gonna put it right there. So before I take that out, we'll just go ahead and do that. And after putting our glove on, so this bit right here that we're gonna use is a 5/32 bit. Okay. I'm just gonna. We're just gonna make it just a little bit bigger. Okay. It doesn't really matter which way you go, but you just want to do it slow. So you're gonna hold it. Just like that. That's all you need. So now that that hole is a little bit bigger, that's going to allow for that screw to go through the demon eye. So I have an extension . I have an extension for this. Oh, I had to change the bit. This part is actually a 20 star bit. That's been removed. Cool. So now that that's been removed, we're going to take our demon eye and we want the demon eye to be facing towards the projector, right? Towards the inside. So it's going to look just like this. Not this way. it's going to be facing this way. And that's what's going to give it more illumination. If it's this way, you're just going to see this light, and it's just going to be one really bright spot within the headlight or within the bulb. That's not what we want. Okay, so we're going to take this, feed it through. Might have to twist it a little bit. It's almost kind of what we want. Okay, so I fed it through just enough so that it can catch back onto the hole where it needs to go. Cool. And we're in there. So this part, you just kind of have to finesse it. Now make sure you put your drill on the right thing, or just be careful that you don't overdo it. All right. So now what we want to do is kind of make sure that we're not hitting that piece. You just want to test it. You see, I'm able to move it. I'm sorry for hitting the camera, y'all. But there's plenty of space where it can move and not hit the demon eye. And the demon eye is secure. And that is how you install the demon eye on the Challenger. The Charger, that's a different beast right there. I'm not gonna lie, I hate installing. Hold on. When I say this, okay, I say it very respectfully. I hate installing the demon eyes on the Charger headlights. I really do. It's maybe one day you'll no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just not even gonna do it. I don't like it. It is what it is. I'm not doing it. I'll do this. I'll do the Camaro. I'll do the Mustangs. The Charger demon eyes is not where it's at. No. Yeah. All right, back to it. So the next thing we got. So we just did this. We just ran that wire. Okay. We're going to go ahead and start feeding the wire through. So because this is a 19, it's going to take some more finessing, right? Finesse is the name of the game. So kind of take this screwdriver, right? And then we're just going to kind of push down on this side to get this to go through. Boom. Just like that. We're going to go ahead and just start feeding this through. So just like we did with the other one. We should be able to get all three through here, hopefully. I think I've done it before. There's two, and here's the third one. Boom. Yeah, all three through there. So now, what you need to remember to do is first we're gonna figure out how we're gonna lay the wire. So this, this piece is gonna go on this side, and then this is gonna go that way, and then that's in the back. But when we pick it up and lay it in there, right? Don't forget about this piece. You still need this because this is your primary turn signal. Okay. So it'll look just like that. I'm just gonna finesse that in there. Because finesse is what? Name of the game. Cool. All right, so boom. So now that we got that in there, you can make sure all your wires are good. And they're all good. And we can start resecuring the bezel. And that, ladies and gents, is how you do that. And then the next step from here, after you wipe it down and make sure it's all nice and good and free of stuff, of the little dust particles or whatever, we're gonna go ahead and lay our butyl in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab it. The best way to do this is to remember a little goes a long way. So we're gonna always start at the bottom, right? And then you're just gonna kind of stretch it out. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. Something like that. Okay. So it's gonna look like that, and then you're just gonna kind of stretch it. And then I always lay it up against the outside part, right? If you ever look at the headlights and how it is, there's more on the outer part than there is on the inner part. I don't really know why that is. I think it's just easier for you want to try to keep the water and moisture out of the channel. So the more that you have on the outer part of the channel, the easier it is going to be to keep the moisture from getting inside the headlight. Because once it's in the channel, it doesn't take much. Water is a nuisance. It will find the littlest of spaces, and it does not take much. It can take a drop, like one little drop of water, to cause condensation in the headlight. Because what is that water trying to do whenever the sun's out or it gets cold or whatever? That water's trying to escape. It has nowhere to go. So, and we have another thing to help combat that, which I will show you after we get all this on. Get that out of there. Basically, they're like little tiny breathable vents that will keep water from entering the headlight, but helps allow any possible moisture that's in the headlight to escape. And that usually comes standard on these newer headlights. Unfortunately, not on the Dodge brand. Why? That's a good question. Ask Dodge. Really, it's Ask Mopar, because it's Mopar that makes these headlights. If I'm wrong, let me know. I'd be very, very curious. Cool. So now we just went around the whole thing. And I always kind of stretch it out at that part. I've been hitting you guys all night. My bad. Whoa there. Okay. So zoom back out. So I'll go back and I start pressing on this sealant to go towards the outer part versus the inner. So it's just pushing out. You guys should be able to zoom in if you need to on your phones. I think YouTube does that still. Or your phone. You're just kind of pushing towards the outside, kind of rolling it towards the outside. And you just want to make sure that there's no little spots that you didn't hit. And you don't need to go back in and add more or anything like that, because what's going to happen when you start adding too much butyl, you're not going to allow the lens to actually sit in there. There's going to be too much in there. So right now, even this is like a little much, but we can make do with this and still be able to get the lens to fit in there. So that's that. And like I said, because this is a Challenger, we have to still hit the inner part. So what I'll do, instead of keeping it on the roll, I'll kind of guesstimate how much I might need. I'll take that, and then starting from the bottom, a little goes a long way. You gotta kind of stretch it out. There we go. So just like kind of like we did on the other one. Just kind of make sure that it's sitting in there. This one's a little bit different. This is going to be more like you want to make sure the inner part's good, because where's the water or the moisture coming from is going to come from inside the tunnel. So this one you want to make sure that it's more like inside. There we go, just like that. Cool. And then that's pretty much that. You're gonna go ahead. The next step is to put the grommet, I'll call it the shell, I guess. The grommet shell on. Feed all 3 pieces through the rubber. Boom. 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 Kind of want to pull that part tight. And I like to make sure that this is nice and tight before we close it, because sometimes you try and tighten it again and then it like breaks this part loose, and then, well, you got to reopen the headlight to re-put it back. So make sure that it's nice and tight. Kind of just like that, see? So we're gonna redo this part. There we go. There we go, cool. And then that's that. So what's next is that we're going to go ahead and give this thing one last blow down. We're gonna blow it. Stop it. Stop it. And then give it a nice little wipe down, and then we're gonna go ahead and put that lens back on. Before we put the lens back on, I forgot to show you guys. What do we need to do? I even told you guys in the beginning, and I almost forgot to do it, but I don't forget like that. We got to get all that extra sealant off of the headlight. All of this has to come off. And it's not going to be perfect, but you just want to get the majority of it off. Like any big excessive parts are the parts that need to come off. There's going to be like reminiscences of pieces being there. Hopefully I said that word right. Remnants. I think we're going to go with that. Yeah, I passed English, I think. Yeah, I'm here today. That's all that matters. Amen to that. Cool. So, we'll hit that part. I always like to give the top a little bit more love for obvious reasons. I love being, let me stop. I think y'all know what I was about to say. You gotta make sure that you also get that inside piece right here for the tunnel. Don't forget that part either. I know some of y'all are like, oh man, dang, that's what I forgot. Don't worry, I did that too. I was like, man, what did I forget? Oh, You'd be surprised at how much water it gets in this tunnel. I mean, it only makes sense, right? It's the intake. It intakes all the good stuff. So, it's pretty simple. You just leave it like that. Now it's ready to get back on the car. I'm just kidding, man. So you're gonna want to kind of push it down just a little bit. Just kind of push it down. You know what's awesome about like not working for anybody? Like this video is just from me to y'all. I don't have to be politically correct, and that's not what this channel about. We ain't politically correct here. No, no, no. Okay, so now it's good. I'm just kidding. So what we're gonna do is we're going to actually just leave it like this for now, okay? And I will show you guys how to do the. I will show you guys now how to install this intake. All right. So this is the intake, right? This is the new light that we're about to install. So what we're gonna do these are still 7 mils. We're gonna start removing all of these screws. All right. So this thing is kind of laid out weird. There's 4 screws that's on this part, and then 3. As you can see, there's parts right here, here, and here that don't have any screws in. So don't freak out when you go back to reinstall it like I usually do. I'm like, oh man, where do these go? Boom. Intake's off. Right? So with that, we'll go ahead and just set that kind of like right there. Sure, that works. Man, my bad, y'all. Okay, so for this part, okay, might want a glove. It'll probably help. We're going to remove this part. All right, but here's the thing. This isn't butyl. This is just right here. This is just rubber. Okay, so it's not sealant, so you don't need to heat this up or anything. You just pry it off. All right, carefully, obviously. You don't want to break the plastic. So we're just gonna kind of stick this in. Boom, like that. So this is kind of how it looks, right? So just kind of start prying it off the rubber. So I'm in between this plastic piece in the rubber, not the outer, not the metal in the rubber, the plastic piece in the rubber, in between those. And you're just gonna start kind of wiggling it out. Just like that. So this part is the middle. It goes right here. Okay, we'll leave that off for now. And then this is that rubber piece that I just talked about. So we'll leave that there for right now. All right, so for this part, right, let me go ahead and remove this wire just to get out the way. And what we're gonna do is actually remove this. Because right here is this is where we're going to run our wire from the new one. So you throw that away too. All right. So we're gonna move that out the way. So this kind of part is a little tricky. This is your light, your old light. This part can be a little tricky, so we're just gonna wanna start now. If we have a sharper piece, we're just trying to, we're gonna cause damage to this thing because we don't care about it no more. So we need to get this off because this whole piece is glued on there. So sometimes you just have to finesse it. Boom. Look at that. There we go. This is the old one. Obviously we caused damage to it just a little bit, but we don't care about it. Trash. Now we have the new one. Okay. I feel like I say K a lot. I got a lot of filler words. Yeah. It is what it is, right? So no need to glue this. It's gonna stay in place. You can add glue, like a small type of glue, I guess, if you prefer. That's not how I do it. It's not gonna go anywhere. So unnecessary, especially if you, for some reason, need to get back in there. I don't know. We're not doing that though. So boom, like I said, that's how we're gonna run the wire. Just like that. Okay. Next, that's pretty much that. And it's just reinstalling it. So I'll go ahead and take that glove back off. Okay, so first thing I always put on is this rubber piece, right? You can put it on there, or you can put it here. Doesn't really matter. Just kind of whatever. We'll leave it on there for now. So what you're going to want to do is you're gonna take this rubber piece, right? And then you're gonna, on the back side, this is the back side, just lay it on there. And there's like these little notches. Just make sure that they're all in there. And it should be pretty flush and flat, just like so. And you'll flip it over. And then you will just start pushing it in there. So I want to make sure that it gets all the way in there nice and deep, because that's how we like it. And then I will use, my bad again, man. So I'll use this and kind of like a crimper, just kind of help push it in there. Just kind of help guiding it in there. So it's gonna look just like that. I just like to go around it a couple times. No, that was good. That was scary. Just go around it a couple times. Don't push too hard, obviously. And then that's pretty much that. So now it's nice and sealed all the way around. Right, that's that plastic or that foam piece. And then it's ready to be reinstalled. Okay? But before that, we're gonna go ahead and put some butyl right there. This part, hey, it's not gonna look pretty, but you know who's gonna see this part? You, whenever you need to do whatever it is that you need to do to more headlights. Nobody's ever gonna see this, okay? And I'm not saying that to, like, I don't know, be cheap or whatever. This is metal, right? You would do more harm than good to do anything else like that. You can use that other, you can use the grommet from, I mean, you could try and use this grommet again. It's up to you guys. But this is a pretty big wire that you'd have to try and figure out how to get through. I'm not going to do that. All right, so I'm just going to put this here. This one, yeah, a little goes a long way, but I'd rather have a little bit more than I need on this one. And then I'll kind of wrap it around, kind of like that. So it's just like, kind of looks like that, right? Ain't no water getting in there, at least not from this port. If there's another one, I don't know how it's going to get in there. But yeah, so now we can set that aside. We'll get our headlight back over here. Bro. I should do push-ups every time I hit y'all. No, not really. I don't even know what time it is. Whatever. Okay. Now we're gonna go ahead and reinstall that. So there's supposed to be a so as you can see there, hold on, might be on, okay, perfect. So you can see right here there's like rubber material right here, but there's not on this one. It's because it's on the screw, right? So you got to make sure that you use that screw for that part right there. That's what's gonna prevent water and moisture getting in there. So don't forget that. Dang, bro, this is crazy. I'm sorry. All right, and that is how we install the lights on the Challenger. Now we're gonna go ahead and put this thing in the oven, bake it so that we can properly seal it. All right, so now that we have the headlight done out of the oven, we are going to want to kind of push this together as much as possible just to make sure that it's good. Then we take those crimpers, I like to put one in the middle like that, and then I'll do one on the other side like that. As you can see, it's just going onto the back side, and then from there I will just start to kind of like crimping these parts together. So you don't want to do it too hard because you don't want to break the plastic. Just enough for it to kind of sit in. You can fix these and make them back over that little notch. And you just do that all the way around. I think the top is the most important for obvious reason. That's where the water sits. And you just want to make sure that this part is back over that groove or that notch. Remember, not too hard, just enough to get it to move kind of into place more. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but you can see when I squeeze it, the sealant starts to push up, which is exactly what we want. We want to, for the most part, be able to see that sealant. Go back on the bottom side. Sometimes you have to get that third crimper. Dude, I'm sorry. Honestly, y'all probably don't even care that I keep hitting this camera, but I'm sorry anyways. I like to get that third crimper in there sometimes. And then, yeah. And you just kind of let it sit there till it actually cools down. And then what I do, it's not that hot anymore. It's a little warm, but I will start taking this excess. I will just start taking like this excess and just kind of grooving it along. Not necessarily to like remove it. I mean, you're gonna remove some of it, but just to kind of make it look good, especially on the top. You want it to look good, but also be beneficial. The more that you can cover, the less likely water is to get in there. And then also don't forget to do this part. As you can see, there's some sealant there. All right, you kind of still just want to rub it out. Stop. All right. Because if you pull on it, then you could possibly pull out the sealant. Obviously, it's not what we want. You just kind of rub it, just like that. And that's that. So the other headlight's already done because, well, I did it before I started recording this one. So I'll go ahead and get the other stuff, the other headlight installed, and I'll show you guys that. All right, y'all, this is it. The final video right here. Oh, wow. All right, y'all, this is it. These are the lights. Let me turn this light off. Boom. Look at that. So we got the two DRLs, we got the Demon Eye, and then we got the tunnel. Oh, look, I can even take y'all in the tunnel. Dang. That's dope. So this is kind of how the wiring is going to end up looking. Like I said, this is minimal, the very basic, right? We're not cutting out the excess. We're just going to secure it. That's all we're doing. Securing the excess, making it look as best as you can. This is where the main hub, I guess you could say, is. Those dope lights. Hold on. Woo. Okay. This is kind of where the main hub is. This is where all the wiring's at. Instead, we said the controllers here. Got some more wiring that's going to go up that way, but I just got to resecure that part. But the main part, because this part right here is going to be covered by that. So how's it going to look? I got to redo this part too, so don't worry about that. But that, I mean, it's going to look pretty good. So, but nonetheless, this is the final thing. And then it just goes about you just putting the bumper back on. If you need help with that, all you have to do is rewatch the install, how to take off the bumper, and then you'll just basically do it in reverse. So with that being said, I'll show you guys what it's going to look like once the bumper is back on.